All right, apparently I'm live. Trying to still get this. All right, back. Anyways, I think it's good enough. I'm making the chocolate sweet potato cake from the plant-powered families cookbook, Drina Burton. And I thought I would go live and show you guys how easy it is with the Thermomix, because I always laugh when I think about how complicated people make cooking. So I got my pan ready. I gotta go preheat my oven. All right. Oven is preheating. And so first part of this recipe, you take the sweet potato with some water, maple syrup, balsamic vinegar, and vanilla extract until completely smooth. So I'm using a purple sweet potato today. It's first time using purple sweet potato. I've used the orange one before, but this is what I happen to have at home today. And I think it's gonna make a nice dark cake. I don't know if it's sweet enough. I think it's sweet enough. Then the water. Water. And then maple syrup for a sweetener. And that is it's first time for me doing one of these lives, so I'm still new to it. Making a sweet potato cake, sweet potato chocolate cake for birthday in the Thermomix. If you're just joining me. So far I have put in some purple sweet potato, some water, and some maple syrup. And now I'm going to add some vanilla, balsamic vinegar. And I use this vanilla bean powder instead of vanilla extract. Just ground up vanilla. And then I gotta get the balsamic. And I'm gonna use this Grand Reserve, really sweet balsamic vinegar. And it's a tablespoon. Alright, so it's gonna get loud now because that's what the Thermomix does when it goes. So I'm starting it off on a 4, making sure it gets mixed up, and then I'm gonna go up to an 8 just to make sure it's really, really smooth, because you want the fibers of the sweet potato to be really chopped up. And so you can hear from the sound that's not really catching much. So at this point, I'm gonna open the lid and scrape things down. I think it's pretty nice and smooth, so I'm going to move on with the recipe. Okay, then the next step is combining, well, according to the recipes, combining flour, sugar, coconut sugar, chocolate chips, and sea salt, and then sifting in the cocoa, baking powder, and baking soda. But what I do is just I toss it all into the Thermomix and turn it on, and that seems to do fine. So I'm going to go get the flour. The recipe calls for whole grain spelt, and I have some whole grain flour that I milled a while back. I think most of it is spelt, but it could be some wheat in here too. That was close to a cup. Gotta switch over to ounces real quick. Wish I could show both. Be my preference. Right, so this was about 5.5 ounces of flour a cup. And then we have coconut sugar. All right, well, if you're just joining me, I'm making a sweet potato chocolate cake in my Thermomix. And recipe is calling for some sugar, and I have some vanilla sugar here. What I do is I just put sugar, vanilla beans, whole vanilla beans into sugar, and let them dry out. And it makes this really nice vanilla sugar. And then when the beans are truly dried up, I will grind them up and turn them into vanilla bean powder. So here's the flour, sugar. I don't have any chocolate chips, so I'm going to leave those out. And I'm leaving out the salt, and then I'll add the cocoa. Alright, so I got the cacao, not cocoa, and that's what the recipe calls for cocoa. I use cacao, and it's 1/4 of a cup, so I'm guessing on the 1/4 cup here, what's going in. Again, I'm making a sweet potato chocolate cake from Drina Burton's book, The Plant-Powered Family. So this is what the book looks like. And here's the recipe. And I'm making it in the Thermomix. And normally I wouldn't need all these measurement things because I would have written the recipe down and just used the scale that's in the Thermomix to measure it all. but we kind of decided to do this on the fly. I forgot to pencil in the things, so I know for next time. I used the baking soda and the baking powder though. And those are teaspoons each. Find these things give enough salt. And then that should be it, right? All right, then I'm just going to turn it back to say 4. You don't want to overrun it because you'll get a tough cake. This looks like it needs a little bit more water because I've made this before. I think the purple sweet potato is a little drier. So back to 4. A little bit more water for that. So I've made this cake before. Made it with orange sweet potatoes previously, so multiple times, and it's always come out nice. And today I'm making it with a purple sweet potato, and I think they tend to be a little drier, so I'm adding a bit more water. It should be a cake batter. You know, it should flow, and the stuff isn't quite flowing yet. Sounds like it's flip-flopping around. So I'm making a sweet potato chocolate cake based on Dina Burton's recipe. And here's my cake batter. So I'm going to put that in my prepared pan and then stick it in the oven that's waiting for me. I think I could have used a little bit more water still. It's not quite runny enough. Alrighties. Alright, so that's it. Here's the cake. Sticking it in the oven. I think I have to bake for 20 minutes, 21 minutes. And then I'll make in a fresh frosting, chocolate frosting, also with sweet potato, mostly sweetened with sweet potatoes. And a little bit of maple syrup to put on it, put it together as a birthday cake for tomorrow. Oh, I see I even got messages. Let me stick this in the oven real quick. Okay, Google, set the timer for 21 minutes.
All right, 21 minutes. Starting now.
All right. I don't even know how to. Oh, okay. Yeah, hi. Can I bring you more sweet potatoes?
Yep.
Very good. Okay, that was it. I'm making a YouTube live.
Oh, okay.
But this is all I have at the moment until the cake is done baking. So if there's no questions for me right now, then I will end this here. I got a little bit of stuff to clean up. You know, the Thermomix will need to be cleaned, and I used a few spoons and a few measuring cups. But you know, overall, uh, I find it a freer way of making stuff in the Thermomix than otherwise. So I made this cake from Drina Burton's book. It's called the chocolate sweet potato cake, and it's in the oven. So there's nothing to show right now. I'm gonna finish cleaning up here. I'm gonna run the cleaning cycle for the Thermomix. So what I'm gonna do in this case is run it real quick on a 4 to get the loose bits off, and then swap out the water and put it back on to run the soft cleaning cycle. Alright, so it takes about a quart of water, some dish soap, and then I'm going to use the all-purpose cycle and let that run through. So, yeah. Again, this is the cookbook, and this is the recipe that I'm making. Just cleaning up. I have to do this a second time actually after the first one is baked. And I need to do some things. Making the flour. And maybe I can be a little bit more prepared for round 2. Alright, well, I'm done up cleaning up, so I have nothing left to do here. Alright, so somebody still seems to be here watching. I'm having to bake some more sweet potatoes for layer 2. I only have one pan, so I'm making one layer at a time. Didn't have enough sweet potato already cooked for 2 layers, so I guess I'm gonna say goodbye. Yeah, I'll be back on when I'm ready to make the second layer. So, you know, if you want to subscribe, then I guess the notification goes out. I don't even know how this stuff works. So, bye.